Hey everybody, it's Benny One, and I'm back at you with another Harry Potter movie review, and we're moving on to Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, everybody. The second Harry Potter movie that came out a year after the first one in 2002. So, this one picks up, obviously, a year later, because that's a theme that's going to run through these movies until we get to the last two Harry Potter movies, is that every movie is another year at Hogwarts and going to school. So our kid actors are a year older and all that kind of stuff. That's one thing I really love about this movie franchise is getting to watch our kid actors that play Harry, Ron, and Hermione grow up in these movies. We literally get to grow up with these kid actors, which is really cool. So yes, the second Harry Potter movie is directed by Chris Columbus once again, and all of our cast that I went and rattled off and named off in the first Harry Potter review, The Sorcerer's Stone, they're all back. We do have a couple of new additions in this movie, though, which is Jason Isaacs, who plays Lucius Malfoy, and he is very good at playing a bad guy, let me tell you. He's Draco Malfoy's father. He works for the Ministry of Magic, and the guy is just a dick. He's an asshole, and he is the one that plants the seed, whether it's not a seed, but a book, but he plants the seed of Tom Riddle's journal in Jeannie Weasley's little cauldron, because it's her first year at Hogwarts. She gets to go to Hogwarts this year. So he's the one that basically starts everything that happens at Hogwarts in this second Harry Potter movie. So, and then another new character that we get introduced to, which is kind of it's a thing that's a reoccurring theme that goes on in most of these Harry Potter movies is there is a new Defense Against the Dark Arts teacher every single year at Hogwarts. And Kenneth Branagh's Gilderoy Lockhart as the new Defense Against the Dark Arts teacher. And he's very in the public eye. And he's honestly a scene stiller. Like, any scene that guy is in this movie, even though he's a big oaf and a joke and a liar and a fake, he just stills the scenes that he's in. Like, Kenneth Branagh just does an amazing job playing this character because he's very popular. He was named the number one wizard or whatever on a magazine, and he's got books galore that he promotes. And he's a sham. It's all just fake crap that he's borrowed from other wizards that did things, and he's actually stole what they did to make himself famous and big and more in just this huge, popular Hollywood type person in the wizarding world of Harry Potter in the public eye. But he's just a big sham and a fake. It's just great character to add into this franchise, and he's only in this one movie. And then our other character that gets added into the movie is Dobby. That's right, a house elf, because house elves in the Harry Potter world serve a magical family, and they're kind of like slaves. I mean, Malfoy's family literally treats Dobby like a freaking slave because that's who he belongs to. Dobby is Malfoy's freaking family's house elf. Like, they just, and they're really mean to him because we get introduced to Dobby right off the bat when Harry is at the Dursleys, and he got to move out of underneath the stairs, and he got Dudley's spare room. So Harry actually has a room at the Dursleys now. He still gets treated like crap though. And they do cage him up. They put bars on his windows and everything because he ruins a little dinner party that the Dursleys are having and stuff. So, and then Ron and his brothers come and break Harry out with the flying car, which is a very important thing, and I would say side automobile character in this second Harry Potter movie, because that thing ends up saving Ron and Harry's ass later in the Dark Forest. Really saves their ass against the spiders, because they come up against a bunch of spiders. Aragon, they run into freaking Hagrid's giant ass spider that he's raised from a hatchling and everything. It's just really cool. So we get some adventuring in the dark forest where, the kids aren't supposed to go. And of course, we have our looming mystery in this movie, which is the Chamber of Secrets, which the heir and the guy that started Slytherin, because there are the 4 houses in Hogwarts, and the Chamber of Secrets was Slytherin's thing. It was a secret chamber that Salazar Slytherin put in the castle, and only the heir to to Slytherin can open the bad boy, because they're parcel tongues and they can speak snake talk. so yes. And that's one thing about this movie is that I feel like the mystery in this movie, there's much more depth to that part of the story than there was with the Sorcerer's Stone and all that in the first Harry Potter movie. And they do get to spend a lot more time really telling the story in the second one, because we've already got everything established. We know about Hogwarts, we know about magic, we know about the wizarding world, we know kind of about most of the rules that revolve around this wizarding world. We've had all of our characters introduced. We got some new characters that are great additions, so they have more time to focus on this mystery revolving the Chamber of Secrets and who is opening and who is because what happens is the basilisk, the snake, is looks at people and then basically not like Medusa, but freezes them. They're just stuck in the pose that they were when it saw them. So it's not necessarily killing people, but they don't really know how to get them unstuck. So in a way, they're kind of dead, I guess. And these things keep happening. Like Filch's cat, and it keeps happening. There's a kid from Gryffindor that likes taking pictures, and he gets frozen taking a picture. Hermione gets frozen. Ginny Weasley gets taken down to the chamber, actually, and basically is said that she's going to die down there. So as these things keep happening, things get more strict at Hogwarts. They have to head back to their rooms and everything. They can't be out late. And then eventually, McGonagall basically says that Hogwarts is going to get shut down. So, when Ginny gets taken, they're basically flat out well, this is the end of Hogwarts. This is all going to get shut down. And of course, the mystery revolving around who is opening the chamber, and we get a little flashback scene in this movie with Tom Riddle, aka Voldemort, who you find out later in the movie, but if you've read the books you already know, but you find out later in the movie he is Voldemort, and he was the person that opened the Chamber of Secrets last time back when he was at Hogwarts, because he was the heir to Slytherin, because he was a Parseltongue. So, and he's using Ginny Weasley to do this again through this enchanted book that Tom Riddle had. Because what it was is there's a diary that you would write down stuff, but the ink disappears. It's really cool shit. And the flashback scene, Harry gets sucked into the book. It's a pretty cool little sequence, and we get to see a younger Dumbledore, the young Tom Riddle, and just kind of Hogwarts back in the day, a young Hagrid, and that's where you get to see Aragon as a young little spider. And Hagrid, they tried blaming the opening of the Chamber of Secrets on Hagrid, because back then he was the one that got in trouble for it, and that's why Hagrid can't really do magic, because he got in trouble back then. But then you find out it's actually not Hagrid, it's actually Voldemort, or Tom Riddle. So yeah, and this movie literally has everything that the first movie did. It has that, just the wizarding stuff. You get your Quidditch match, and that's one thing I guess I will say that's kind of a negative about the movie is I do feel like it repeats and retreads a lot of things that they did in the first Harry Potter movie, but it was just year 2, so the kids were a little bit older. We got our little sequences of the classes and Quidditch and the Christmas thing, because in all these movies, as I've been rewatching them again, they always get into mischief, and they always get to do something they shouldn't be doing around Christmas time for some damn reason. So it's just funny shit how it always happens that way. But that's another thing I love about these movies is like we go through all the seasons and everything while they're at school. I love it. I think it's really, really cool how they do this. And of course, John Williams is back to do the score for this movie once again. I will say though that I don't feel like the movie's too long, but this is the longest Harry Potter movie, which they took the second book, which I think is the second smallest, because I think the first book is the smallest, and then the second one is almost just as small, and they made the longest Harry Potter movie out of it, which I was kind of surprised. And I don't feel like the movie's too long, though. I honestly enjoy all of these movies. I really think I'm going to have a hard time ranking these, to tell you the truth, because I think they're all pretty damn good. So, but yeah, as a sequel and a follow-up to the original one that established everything and laid the groundwork for this great franchise and did a fantastic job at it, I really enjoyed this sequel. And like I said, I think the mystery behind the story in this one with the Chamber of Secrets is even better than what they did in the first one with the Sorcerer's Stone. So, and our cast is fantastic. Our main child actors, Daniel Radcliffe and Rupert, they literally their acting got better in this movie. You could tell, and that happens as the movies go on because they're getting older. Their acting gets better and better. And of course, this was the last time that we get to see this version of Albus Dumbledore, because unfortunately the actor passed away after they filmed this, and then we get our new Albus Dumbledore, who I prefer more. Nothing against the guy that played him in the first two movies. I just prefer the guy that played him in the third movie on, and I will explain that when we do the third movie. So, I am going to give Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10, just like the first one. I really think it's just as good as the first movie, honestly. I really think it's pretty much about the same level. The same type of tone and everything through the movie. It's very lighthearted and kid-friendly. It's a little bit darker. A little bit, but not much. So, an 8 out of 10, everybody, for Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. I hope you guys enjoyed that review. I thank you for watching. And I'll be catching you on the tube later, because I have spoken.